Hi everybody, Peter here. Thanks for joining me on my channel again, and it's time for another video. Honestly guys, I didn't think I'd be making this video. It's in relation to last week's video. I made a video called 20 Things I Hate About Thailand. That was a title, it was a good title, but actually I didn't really hate them. They were just sort of things that kind of irritate me a little bit, or you know, they can be a bit annoying, and I won't get into them again. If you watch that video, you'll know what I mean. And at the end of that video, what I said I'd actually struggled to come up with 20 negative points about Thailand, because I just love the country. I know there's things that irritate us, but I love everything about it. And I did struggle to come up with 10 things, but over a matter of days, I'd think of one or two, jot them down, and I did. It was one of the toughest videos I had to kind of compile. It was, I did come up with 20 points, but at the end of that, I said, I don't think I'll be making another one of these guys. I can't think of any more negative points. However, if you guys out there, you think of anything, send me them and I'll jot them down. I'll keep them on my desk, on my table. And as the list grows, if it grows, when we get to 10, I'll do a volume 2, but 10 things we don't like about Thailand. Do you know what? I've actually managed to get 20. Now, it's 20 plus one bonus, and the bonus is from me. It's something that I hate. I really hate it, but it relates to the hotel that I stay in, and it's just really annoying, but we'll get to that after point 20. As always, I've got the clipboard. I don't know why that comes upside down when I do it that way. I'll have to look at that when I have a look at the video. So I've got my clipboard. I've got everything written down for you. So this is volume 2. They're actually not one of these are from me. I mean, I agree with some of them don't really bother me, but these have all been sent in by you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I mean, that's what it's about. You put some input in, we can make some more videos. So this is 20 things that I don't like about Thailand, or I hate about Thailand, volume 2. But the difference with this one is the first video was 20 from me, and these 20 are from you. So let's kick off and get straight into it. So, and they're all from different subscribers. Some guys sent me one, some guys sent me 2, but as I say, without wanting to be repetitive, they are sent in from you lot. Okay, so number 1 was the smells from the drains. I didn't think about that, but yeah, there is, you know, I'll tell you where it's really bad is, I haven't been there for about a year now, but it used to be Pattaya. You'd walk along the beachfront and it was an awful smell coming from the drains. The smells don't bother me too much, but obviously they bother this guy, and that's why he sent it in. Number 2, street hawkers not taking no for an answer. Yeah, I'm right. I'm with you there. I mean, there's a few of them about street hawkers here, but it's terrible. You know, I mean, they'll come up to you in the street and they'll show you these bangles or some model that they've made, a wooden motorbike, normally it is. And you'll say no, and you try, you know, in the West, we're so polite. We'll say no, thank you, and we'll smile. They take that as a kind of, you know, they just won't give up. They just keep following you down the street, tapping you, and that's really annoying. So I'm with you on that one. Number 3, the lack of garbage cans around the streets. So I don't know what it's like where you live, but in the UK, wherever you go, they have a lot of garbage cans on the street. So if you're drinking a can of Coke or a bottle of water, or you finished a fast food takeaway wrapper, you don't throw it on the floor. It's just literally a few hundred yards to the nearest bin. You keep it until you get there. But this guy wrote to me, and number 3, he said that there's a lack of garbage cans, and he said what happens with him, he'll buy a small bottle of water from 7-Eleven, he'll finish it, and not wanting to just throw it onto the sidewalk, he looks for a bin and he can't find one. And he said he often walks around for 20 minutes carrying this bottle until he has to discreetly leave it on a ledge or something like that, which I think we've all done. Number 4, I've not really come across this myself, but he's written not knowing which shops have fixed pricing. So you know, in the UK, and I'm sure it's the same where you live, you go into a shop, there's no bartering really, unless it's a market. Everything's got a price on it, and whatever the price says on the ticket, that's what you pay. And a lot of the shops in Thailand, obviously they don't have prices on there. You have to ask them what the price is, and I'm sure it changes depending on what country you come from. So that's a little niggle for the person who sent that in. Okay, number 5, this one I really, it's about street hawkers again, and it really bugs me big time, and I'm glad the guy sent this one in. So it's street hawkers being allowed in the restaurants. So how many times have you been sat on a nice open air restaurant in, say, Pattaya or Hua Hin or one of the other beach resorts? It's a real nice restaurant, it's open, there's no walls obviously, you're looking out at the ocean, you're enjoying a meal with your favourite friend that day, and you get these guys coming in, and they, you know, if you try to ignore them, they tap you. You know, you're trying to have a meal, you're talking to your friend or whoever you're with, and every 2 minutes they're tapping you. That's really, really annoying, but the Thais look at it different to us. I mean, first of all, they're not paying out good money to enjoy a nice meal with a nice atmosphere. They're working, so it doesn't really bother them too much. And the other thing is, they just think, why stop them making a chance to make money from these guys? You know, they need to eat as well, and that's how they think. But it is really, really annoying. And what's more annoying than them coming in asking you if you want to buy something when you're in your middle of your whatever it is you're eating, is them just not going away. Just say no, thank you, smiling, and they just will not go away. And you're trying to, like I say, have a meal. That's a big one for me as well. That leads us into number 6 again. Hawkers. I said this. I think this is the last one about hawkers, but it's the hawkers on the beach. You know, if you're sitting on the beach in Pattaya, you know, it's like if you've had a heavy night on the booze and you're out on the beach and you'll have a drink and you'll kick back, and because of all them umbrellas, the sun isn't directly on you, and you can actually doze off and have a snooze. And the times I've sort of just dropped off and someone's been tapping my shoulder again, and it's some guy with a, sorry, I keep looking up, guys, my cameras are up there. It's some guy with something, again, a wooden motorbike or something stupid that I wouldn't take with me if he gave it to me, because I wouldn't want to cart it around all day for the rest of the day with me. But, you know, again, they're just so annoying, those street hawkers on the beaches. Okay, so we're going to change the subject now. We're on to number 7. No more hawkers. But as you can guess, a lot of people, they just don't like those hawkers. Number 7, tourists who treat Thai people like rubbish. Yeah, I don't like that as well. They've got this air of superiority. They think that all Thais are stupid. I don't know why they go to Thailand, but they're basically, they carry this air of superiority even though they're not, and they kind of talk down to the Thais. And it gives everybody a bad reputation. Number 8, this is a funny one. It's true as well. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. If someone doesn't, Thai, I think they're talking about. If someone doesn't understand, then they just shout louder. So what they're saying, they'll talk to a Thai in a restaurant, and you know what the Thais do. They giggle, don't they? So if they don't understand you, they giggle. They're not laughing at you. It's their way of covering up embarrassment. They're embarrassed because they don't understand you. And why should they? They're Thai. They're not going to speak your language unless they've been formally educated. But you'll ask them a question, they don't understand, and they giggle. And I've seen it before. What will happen is the guy will ask the same question, but he'll shout it at them because he thinks if he says it louder, she'll suddenly understand English. So, yeah, that's not good. Okay, there's a few number 9, there's a few like this, but they've got little bits of variations on them. So, number 9, expats who, and sorry I keep looking down because I am reading from a clipboard. It's called Old Age. I can't remember it all. Number 9 is expats who continually whinge about the country they choose to live in. So yeah, I mean, I've experienced this a lot. You've been in a bar and a guy will say, Thailand's rubbish, isn't it? Look at the streets, all the sidewalks are uneven. There's rubbish everywhere. Back in, I won't mention a country where he lives, they sweep the streets. You won't find a can on the floor, and you think, just shut up. I mean, what are you doing here? You come here to complain or what? I mean, just go with the flow. And I've actually personally experienced that. I've been in bars where guys have been sort of, they've actually been telling Thais, in my country we don't have this, we have that, it's so much better. It's embarrassing, actually. Okay, number 10, Indian tailors everywhere. How many suits can a guy have? I'm reading it just as it's been sent to me, but yeah, I know what you mean, but I kind of... I got quite a tolerance for stuff like this because at the end of the day, I mean, most of them Indians that will grab you as you walk by their shop, don't forget, although they're Indian, most of them are born in Thailand, and they're just trying to make a living. They've all got families. They're good salesmen, aren't they? I mean, if you were in business, would you do it? I'd probably be a bit shy to sort of accost people in the street like that, but they're not. They do it, and as much as it does annoy you, I can understand it. It doesn't really annoy me. I just smile and say no, thank you, and they're not as bad as the hawkers. So that's obviously not upset, but it annoys the guy who sent this in to me, but it doesn't bother me. Right, number 11. Now, before I read this one out, guys, this isn't me, okay? So don't start sending me vicious emails. Saying that, you didn't like this point. This has been sent by somebody. I'll read it out just as he sent it to me. So that, again, just to reiterate, it's not a pet hate of mine. So don't involve me in it when you start getting angry, okay? Right, number 11, Thai Visa. And to anybody who doesn't know what Thai Visa is, it's a website. It's not a Thai website. It's a foreign language website. Thai Visa, you can actually type it into Google and see it. It has a lot of things on there about Thailand, but it has a lot of input from expats who live in Thailand. I wouldn't always accept the news or anything that's said on there because there is a lot of bullshit on there. I mean, I've read things and thought, no, I've known it not to be true. But that's what Thai visa is. So when we talk about the next point, when I say Thai visa, that's what it is, okay? Right, Thai visa, where almost all the regular posters have so little going on in their sad, boring, pathetic lives that the only joy they get in life is moaning and complaining about Thailand. So I know what he means. You know, as I say, I'm not, how many times am I going to say it's not me writing this? Okay, but I do know where he's coming from. I mean, it's on a similar sort of thing. I mean, I've been in bars and guys are there and they're just bitter, you know, and they're complaining about everything. The Thais don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. They're stupid. And you know, you look at them and you think, why are you here? Why are you in Thailand? You obviously hate all Thai people. You obviously hate the country. You obviously hate everything about it. What are you doing here? But, you know, like I say, I've witnessed it firsthand, but this guy's obviously talking about the keyboard warriors, and don't start me off on keyboard warriors because I get that all the time. But there is a lot of guys who, I think what it is, they've retired too early. They haven't necessarily got enough money to retire on. They've stretched it out as far as they can. They're sitting in a small room somewhere and they get really bitter because what happens is they see people coming on vacation, and those people who come on vacation, they've got plenty of cash because they've saved up for the vacation. So they can afford to go out and have nice meals, lots of drinks. They can afford to entertain the ladies. They can't. They've retired too early. They're watching every penny. You know, they're sort of buying a beer from 7-Eleven if they want to have a treat. And they just turn bitter because they look at people on vacation and they get jealous. And but at the end of the day, they're on vacation. If I go on vacation, I'm a holiday millionaire. But it doesn't mean if I come back to the UK, I can spend like I do in Thailand. So, you know, that's our number 11. So we're halfway through now, aren't we? Just over halfway. Number 12, I'll read, a guy sent this in. I put it on the list, but I think it's a little bit irrelevant, really, because it's Thailand. He says, a fork and spoon with every dish. And he went on to say he once ordered a steak and he got a spoon and a fork. Well, obviously, if you're in Thailand, okay, let's not say all because somebody will prove me wrong. Let's say 99% of all meals can be eaten with a spoon and a fork. So what do you get? You know, you get a soup, you can use a spoon. You get rice, you can use a spoon and the fork. You get vegetables, spoon and a fork. Just about everything you can eat with a spoon and fork. Now, obviously, it's geared up for Thailand. They're Thai. It's their food. That's why they serve you with a fork and a spoon. If you go and order a steak, I don't think it's a big deal to say, excuse me, could I have a knife, please? They'll bring you a knife and that's the end of it. Okay, number 13, next one. I kind of agree with this one. It's putting sugar in everything. Yeah, it's really, okay, if you go to somewhere like Costa Coffee or one of the big chains, yeah, they'll do coffee like they do it in your country. You know, you get espressos, lattes, you know, all them sort of coffees, and they'll be just exactly the same as in your country. But a lot of Thai cafes, you go and order a coffee and they're always, you know, they put syrup and sugar in everything. I mean, I remember years ago, I don't know if they still do it because I haven't bought bread from 7-Eleven for a long, long time, but I'm going back 25 years. I was in Chinatown. I was hungry. I couldn't find anything in Chinatown. It was all chicken feet and offal, which is not me. So in desperation, I went into 7-Eleven. I didn't want anything sweet. I didn't want a bag of Lay's crisps. I wanted something a bit more substantial. I looked in the fridge and there were some sandwiches in there with some green filling. I didn't go for them, but there was something that resembled ham. So I bought one. It was a sandwich. It looked like a regular ham sandwich, but when I ate it outside, it was sweet. They obviously put sugar in the bread. So I think it's getting a lot better now because especially places like Patti, you know, with all the international restaurants, bars, pubs, I don't think it's like it used to be. Obviously, the person who's sent in this, he's an old hand like I am, and you know, it's something he remembers. But fair point. Okay, number 14. Traffic not stopping at pedestrian crossings. Yeah, again, I agree with that. I remember once it was recently actually, I went to Pat Pong and I went from the Silom end and where the taxi dropped me off, it was right outside the McDonald's. So I had to cross over and get to the other side of the road to Pat Pong, and there was a pedestrian crossing there. And there was no cars coming. I wouldn't be as foolish to actually step onto the zebra crossing when cars were coming. I would where I live because they'll stop. The cars will stop when you get on a pedestrian crossing. In the UK, it doesn't matter what the road is if pedestrians have right of way. But But not in Thailand, you're taking your life in your hands. So I made sure there was nothing coming. Walked across on the zebra crossing, as like I said, zebra crossing, that's what we call in the UK, pedestrian crossing. And I was halfway across, and this black Mercedes-Benz was coming down Ceylon. They must have been doing 50, 60 miles an hour. Had a lady driver. She was looking at me. I actually froze because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have time to think. She was coming so fast. I was on the pedestrian crossing. I was shocked at the speed she was coming at me, and I just stopped and froze on the pedestrian crossing, and eventually she did stop and I carried on, but a little bit embarrassing actually. But so yeah, traffic not stopping on pedestrian crossings. Number 15, fast food being more expensive than it is in the West. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not a fan of things like McDonald's, but occasionally if I'm there for a month, 2 months in Thailand, I do like fried rice and soups and all the rest of it, but occasionally I've had it where I wake up in the morning and I thought, you know what, I want a McDonald's. And you'll pay anywhere from 300 up for a set. And 300 baht, I mean, you think about it, at today's rate, I'm going to date this video now because if the exchange rate gets better, it will look old, this video. But generally, the baht's all over the place. But 300 baht at the moment is about £7.50, $9 US. So if you think about it, you go in and get a Big Mac set, a drink, maybe a side order, whatever, and it's 300 baht. You're paying, like I say, $9 US. That's a lot, because I know in the US, I've been to the US a few times, and fast food is just so cheap they almost give it away. So it is expensive, but the trick is not to eat it too often, isn't it? Okay, number 16. Taxi driving. Oh yeah, I get this all the time. Taxi drivers asking if you like Thai ladies, and then it's basically a roundabout way of offering you a hooker. So you know what it's like. You be in the airport, you try and be a bit friendly to the taxi driver. He doesn't stop talking you. For me, it takes me 18 hours from my front door to my hotel room when I go to Bangkok. It's a 12-hour direct flight with Thai Airways, and I'm really tired. You know, when I get in the taxi, I can't wait to get to the hotel actually and have a shower. You know, you're dirty, you want to brush your teeth, you just feel dirty, hungry, smelly, you want to get back. And what these taxi drivers do, I mean, some of them are genuinely friendly, but some of them it's just they're working you. You know, they're kind of manipulating the situation to try and extract some cash from you, either from you or commission somewhere else, and they'll start talking to you, and it always goes the same way. You know, you like Thai ladies, and they have that little grin, they have that little giggle, and you know, you'll say, yeah, you know, I like everybody sort of thing, and they'll offer to take you somewhere, and okay, so the less said about that, the better. This is a good one. I never thought about this, but it doesn't annoy me, but it is a valid point. Number 17, MRT guards. Now, if you've been living on the moon and you don't know what the MRT is, it stands for Mass Rapid Transportation System. That's the overhead trains in Bangkok. Very good, by the way. MRT guards at stations whistling when you get near the yellow line. So I've had it happen to me actually when it first opened. I think it was 2001, something like that, 2000. Anyway, so what it is, like every other country in the world, when you've got the train tracks, you've got the platform, and about 1 meter in from the edge of the platform, you've got a yellow line. Now, obviously, if you cross that yellow line, there's a guard on every station. He's got a nice, bright, shiny whistle, which he can blow, and they do. And, you know, in London, for instance, on the Underground, on the tube station for the Americans, if you step over the line, then, yes, somebody will say something. But in Thailand, what happens is if you get up to the yellow line, and you're not over the yellow line, you're not touching the yellow line, you've probably got a good, you know, a good 10, 20 centimeters before the line's at your shoe, and you look at the line, the guy, he's blowing his whistle, you know, and he's get back, you know, as if you're going to jump off onto the track. So it doesn't really bother me, but obviously it's an irritant that bothers this guy. Okay, number 18, we touched on this point on the last video, but it's a valid point, which I'll bring into this one as well. So banknotes have to be perfect. And if you remember on that other video, I was telling you that, you know, there's just no flexibility on damaged banknotes. And when I say damaged, I mean, even if somebody's written a tiny number on it, or there's a little corner gone, or it's fraying at the top, watch the first video to get, you know, to understand the whole thing. But basically, they're just really, really fussy on banknotes. Slightest blemish on it, you can't change it. And that's really annoying, because if you go there with £2,000, you end up bringing £200 back. Okay, you don't lose the money, but you've taken it there to spend. And I am being repetitive because I said that in the last video. Okay, we're nearly done now, guys. Number 19, people, well, this doesn't bother me, but it obviously bothered this guy who sent it in. People grabbing you to pull you into the bar. So you know what it's like. Same as the Indian tailors. So especially in somewhere like Sukhumvit Soi 4, Nana, you walk down the street, let's just say you go past Nana, you don't feel like going into Nana, it's a bit early, it's 8 o'clock, you want to go and check out a few more bars, and Nana's on your left, you walk back down, you've got Hillary's, a Swan, Hooters on that side, bus stop, and what happens sometimes, and you know, they're quite charming actually, you get these girls, they stand at the entrance and they hold a sign that says Chang beer, 80 baht all night, or happy hour from, you know, and what they'll do, they'll try and encourage you into the bar. And remember guys, I mean, it's very competitive. I know there's a lot of foreigners down in Soi 4, but it's still very competitive, especially now less tourists are actually going to Thailand with the Thai baht and all that. So what they'll do, they sometimes grab your arm or they'll grab your shirt and try and pull you into the bar. And I find it quite, it's quite fun really. I mean, that's what you go to Thailand for, isn't it? It's a game really, isn't it? You know, but it obviously annoys some people. It doesn't annoy me at all, by the way. But okay, we're on to number 20. Cockroaches and rats. Now I'm sure you get them everywhere around the world, but they've got some big ones over there. I remember embarrassing myself thoroughly once. I mean, we have cockroaches in the UK, but you've got to go somewhere really dirty, like a restaurant that doesn't keep it clean, and they're literally that size. No, say that size. In Thailand, they're like your thumb. And I remember in the early days, I wouldn't go there now, but that's 20. We've got one more, that'll be from me. So let me just tell you this little humorous story. So I remember when I first got to Thailand, this would have been 92, 93. And like everybody else, if you walk down the centre of Pat Pong Market, you've got all the bars on your left and your right, but you'll see doorways often with sort of funny looking guys standing there. And what happens if you go up them stairs, that's where you got all these crazy ping pong shows and darts, and you know, I'm not going to go any deeper than that guys, it is YouTube. And of course when you're new, you want to go and see it because it's something that only happens in Bangkok, and it is quite interesting to see for the first time. I've seen a lot of Western women, they'll go into these shows because it's not a turn you on sort of thing, it's just, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? It's I'm trying to explain it without being too specific for YouTube. So let me just get straight to the point because that's what I'm not doing at the moment. Yeah, the cockroaches and rat. I forgot what I was talking about for a second there. So how did I embarrass myself? Okay, so I went up to one. I've laid the groundwork for you. So basically, I went up these stairs, watched one of these shows, which was rubbish really. Come down, and as I come down, I had a shirt on that was similar to this. So it's short sleeve for Thailand. Got a collar in it. I like to wear a collar on I don't really wear t-shirts. And this cockroach, it must have been the size of my thumb. And I didn't know they flew as well. They do, they fly, they've got wings. I was coming down the stairs and I felt something just tickle my neck there. And I looked round and it was that size on my shoulder there, big cockroach. I'd never experienced this before. I'd never seen a cockroach that size, and panic is an understatement. I ran down the stairs, ripped my shirt off. So imagine the scene. I'm running down Pat Pong, down the centre of Pat Pong, very crowded, no shirt on, waving my shirt about like an idiot, and I must have looked like an idiot. Anyway, cut a long story short, I got to the end and I realised what had happened. I checked my shirt, nothing on it, put my shirt back on and tried to sort of act like it wasn't me, it was somebody else, but very, very embarrassing. But anyway, back to point number 20, that's somebody's written that in and I don't like them as well. And another thing, the rats are huge. If you ever, here's something for you. If you're a guy who goes out there regularly and you go into Nana Plaza, you know, as you walk into the plaza, you've got big dogs on your left, haven't you? You've got a couple of bars on your right, forget the names of them. And then you've got a bar in the centre, which is a relatively recent add-on. When I say recent, a couple of years, but you know, it wasn't there in the early days. If you sit in that bar, they've got a Buddha, you know, like a little Buddha temple. They have them everywhere, don't they? So when the girls come to work, you'll see them way to the shrine and then they'll put a can of cola or some fruit or whatever. You sit in that bar, just have a beer about sort of 8, 9 o'clock at night, and there's a hole in the concrete and you'll see the rats come out and they climb up and they start eating the apples and the fruit and everything. They don't care about the loud music. They don't care about people sitting around there. You'll see 3 or 4 of them and it's ugly. It's horrible, you know. So I'm, you know, I understand where he's coming from. So cockroaches and rats. So there it is. Volume 2, 20 things that people hate about Thailand. Like I said, I didn't think we'd get there, but we've done it now. One more. So this last one is for me. This is my input. It only relates to the hotel where I stay when I'm in Sukhumvit Soi 4. I'm not going to, you can go back and look and you could probably find out where I stay when I'm there. But for the sake of this video, they're very nice people in the hotel. So I'm not going to name the hotel in this video because I'm going to complain about it. But it's not a serious complaint. It's just a niggle and it's really irritating. So what it is, a coffee shop in this hotel. It's not cheap. But the food's pretty good. If you order Thai food, the Western food's a bit rubbish, but the Thai food's pretty good. It's not cheap, but it's not overly expensive. So you know what it's like. If you wake up sometimes, you've had a night on the town, as it were, you've got in quite late, 3, 4, had a shower, you've gone to sleep, you'll wake up about 11, 11:30 in the morning, maybe even 12 o'clock. Last thing you want to do is get fully dressed, washed and go out to get some food. So a lot of times I'll just stick a pair of shorts on, stick a t-shirt on. I won't even have a wash or anything, brush my teeth. I'll go down to the coffee shop and eat and then go back up to the room and have a little rest and then get ready for the rest of the day. So it's very convenient to have that coffee shop. But one thing that's an irritant about it, typical Thai hotel coffee shop, nice people, best of intentions, but somebody obviously thought it was a good idea. We've got a lot of Western tourists staying here. Let's put a TV into the coffee shop. Then when these guys are waiting for their food, they can watch TV and they won't get bored. In theory, great idea. Go in there, watch CNN or BBC, catch up on the day's events. Never happened. I've never seen the BBC. Been staying there for 20 years, never seen CNN. What happens is they stick it on some Thai drama channel. You go in there, it's so loud you have to actually raise your voice to order your coffee in the morning. And, you know, when you exaggerate it and do all this to try and hint that the TV's too loud, it doesn't click. They don't get it. And what happens, you'll order your coffee, you look through the menu, you're ready to order, and what happens is 3 or 4 of them in the restaurant, and all of them, and I do mean all of them, including the manageress who runs the restaurant, is stood about 3 meters from the TV. They're all watching this Thai drama. It's riveting. They can't pull themselves away. You're sat there like a lemon trying to get somebody to take your order. And what happens, and this has happened a lot with me, you stand up and you go over to them and you sort of say, can I order? It's a typical sort of Thai thing, but it's not something I hate. It doesn't make me angry as such. It's just a little irritant. It just gets me irritable. And in the morning, you know, it's morning for me when I've had a coffee and I want to eat some food. The last thing I want to do is keep jumping up to tap a waiter on the back of the shoulder. Okay, so it sounds like I'm having a bit of a moan now, doesn't it? I'm not, that's it. Okay, great. So we've done really, that's a total of 40 things that people don't like about Thailand, including me, but they're not really that bad, are they? They're not, I mean, I had a guy write to me last week and he actually said he's not going to go to Thailand now based on the video I made about the 20 things I hate about Thailand. And I actually had to get him to email me on a personal one-on-one email, and I had to spend about an hour compiling an email and telling him all the good things about Thailand and why he should go to Thailand and why he shouldn't not go to Thailand because of my video. And I think he's going to go to Thailand now and he's going to let me know how he got on. So there you go. Okay, so thanks for watching this one. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.